4 annoying things that I love about my autistic child. Um, yeah, I wrote some things down because sometimes I'm like all over the place. Hopefully, this helps. We'll see. So, number one is my child loves routine, and this can be very annoying for some of us because what happens is when your child gets used to certain things, like you pick them up from school and they go straight home or they go straight to the park, and now you want to deviate and do something else. Some autistic children will have a total meltdown just because you're changing the routine, right? So for some of us, that's very annoying. But I've come to love the fact that with my child Williams, I'm going to speak on Williams because I'm not a professional, I'm not an expert, I'm just speaking based on my experience, right? So with my child Williams, once he has something locked down, so if I need him to learn something like, Williams, when you wake up in the morning, I need you to brush your teeth. Um, Sometimes I have to set a timer for that because he can go all over the place. But he knows like the next steps. Like if you tell him, okay, number one, this, number two, this, number three, this, number four, this. Once they get that locked down, and it might take a little bit of learning and teaching and patience on your part, right? As the parent. But once they get that locked down, you're kind of like now in a relaxed mode because your child has it locked down. And because they love routine, they're just going to follow that pattern every single time. And this is why I've read in some articles that some employers actually love autistic people as employees because once they have a routine and they know what they're supposed to do, they basically just get it done, right? So that's something that can be annoying, but we can find the good in it. You guys know I'm all about finding the other side of the coin because every coin has a good and a bad side. So I'm always finding the good side of the coin. So that's something I love about my child, but it's typically annoying. Number two is some autistic people. I don't know if this relates to you, but some autistic children have extraordinary level of achievement in one thing. Like, for instance, Williams loves math, but he is terrible with reading and comprehension. And it makes sense because he still doesn't understand certain things. Even when I talk to him, he doesn't really understand what I'm trying to say, the way my child Zita, who is his younger sister, would understand, right? So he has challenges with that. And that can be very annoying because, like, when they're in school, you want them to excel in most of, if not all, the subjects, right? That's what's going to determine an A plus student, someone who is excelling in all of his subjects. But with some of our children with autism, you just have to come to terms that some of the subjects are going to be like really, really hard for them. And some of the subjects are going to be really, really easy, right? So that can be really, really annoying because your child can be getting A plus in math and then in English is getting like, I don't know if they have F here in Nigeria. We have F9. That's like fail, right? So, so if that's happening with your child, that can be very annoying. But the good side to that is that if they hone in on what they want to become, say he wants to be a doctor, which in William's case, that will not be the case because he knows math. I don't know, doctors don't need math, right? I don't think they do. So, or maybe he wants to become a math professor or something. Then he doesn't really need to know reading and comprehension. Hey, is it time to come?
Yep.
The
time break. Time break.
Oh, look at
It
this.
is time to come.
Look at this interruption. Okay, I told him to come in 5 minutes. You guys, okay, you know what?
What?
Just say your hi and bye and go put on your shoes and
Hi,
right
bye.
back.
Hi, bye. 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 Hi, bye.
Really, guys? Who else? Come here. They didn't really see you. Come here.
Yeah.
Say your hi and bye.
Hi, bye. Hi,
Zita, move your head. Say good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. And so
Hi,
we're
bye.
going to
Hi,
church.
bye. Hi, bye.
Bye.
Going to church.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, you guys.
Ooh,
Careful, Wells.
so
Don't push. All right, go put on your shoes and I'll be right there. Okay, so say for Williams, for example, he wants to become a math professor. He doesn't really need reading and comprehension, does he? Hey! here. Bye. Good way. Okay. So he doesn't. Mama, close the door. Sorry about that. So he doesn't really need reading and comprehension, does he? Like, of course, he needs to know how to communicate in English so he's able to teach his students math, right? But that's about all he needs, just to be able to communicate. He doesn't really need to know English in full depth. He doesn't really need to know reading and comprehension like the way he's supposed to know it, you know? So I think that's a good thing. Like if they find something that they know, they just hone into it and just do it as perfectly as they can, and that can be a good thing, right? When they're focused on one thing. Then the third reason, the third annoying thing that I hate about that I love, I keep saying hate because annoying and hate is supposed to go together. Okay, the third annoying thing that I love about my autistic child is that he does not understand sarcasm, and this can be difficult because you're trying to tell your child something and then he thinks about it like literally, and then you're not making your point, right? Like he's yelling, I'm like, you know what? Yell one more time. And he yells because I said yell one more time. But I'm trying to say, do not even think about yelling. So he doesn't understand sarcasm, and yes, it can be annoying, but of course the flip side to that is that it makes him very, very funny. Like Williams cracks me up in this house. He just makes me laugh, and I know people think I laugh like an idiot, but no, and I probably do. But he is so funny, and sometimes he's not even saying something funny, but because of how I'm so used to him being funny, like almost everything he's saying is funny. And if you have an autistic child, they probably don't want you laughing all the time, so be careful with that one. Okay. And then the fourth thing, because I have to go to church, the fourth thing that I love about my autistic child is that he is autistic. The fourth annoying thing that I love about my autistic child is that he's autistic. So believe it or not, and I know I share videos about the success we're having and the fun about autism and all of that, but I went through the stage of being very sad and crying every night and not knowing what the future holds and all of that. Everything that most parents are going went through when they first learned about the diagnosis, I also went through. And it's hard. It's hard for any parents. We're going to worry about the future. We're going to worry about if somebody else will be able to take care of them. We're going to worry about if they'll ever be able to hold down a job, hold down a family, have a wife, have a husband. We're going to worry about all of that, right? So yeah, I totally hate the fact that he's autistic, right? But the other side of the coin is I think God just gives people what he thinks that he can handle. Okay. So God must have some kind of extra faith in me to think that I'll be able to handle an autistic child. Okay. So he has that confidence in me, and I'm just going to tap into it and do the best I can and leave the rest to God. Okay. Because at the end of the day, my child is not mine. My child is from God. I cannot create a child. Okay. So he is from God. So I'm just going to do the best I can and then leave the rest to God and let God handle the rest because that's his child ultimately, right? And even for people who have autistic children who have more needs, because William says, I'm grateful that he's learning. And there was a time I thought he would not even know how to put on his shirt or make the bed, or there was a time that I thought that. But he's learning. He's learning. It takes a lot of teaching, and patience and acceptance. You have to accept your child. Okay. That's the only way you can love and teach them. So it took a lot of that, but he's learning, right? But some autistic children may not be able to just because of their, maybe they have other underlying illnesses that maybe affect their motor skills and they really cannot function, right? So for those children, I would say, if God put that child in your hands, maybe for you to be their caregiver or for you to find them a caregiver and then you're in the house with them. It's always for a reason, and there's always a good side to everything. Always. I know it doesn't seem that way, but there is always a good side to everything. Like Myron Golden would say, there's two sides to a coin. there's a bad side and there's a good side, right? So we have to always think about what is a good thing about this. And if that is your lot, then that is your lot. Just make the best of it, right? If your lot is to take care of someone until you're old, and then you can put them in a place where you believe that they'll be fine, or put them in the care of someone else that you believe will take care of them, then that is your lot. Then do it perfectly and have fun doing it. Give yourself and that child a very happy life, right? It might be a limited life, but it could be very, very happy, even in the limitation, right? There's always something good that can come out of it if you have a positive mindset. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys today. If you watch this during the replay, please go ahead and leave me comments and say hashtag replay, and let me know if this blessed you in any way. We're going to church, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.